Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kin-Tae. Thank you for watching. I decided to do the video and my hair at the same time today. So I'm going to give you a little bit of my book. When I was around 5 years old, my father he was a drug addict and he was a musician. And we lived in Compton, California. And I was at George Washington Elementary School, and I had an amazing teacher, and she would always try to make me play with the other kids and things like that because I always kind of sat to the side by myself. I was a little shy, and I still am. But this teacher, she saw a lot in me, and she knew that I was one of a kind. I was unique. But she used to hear me hum a lot when I was in class, and I would sing, when I was out by myself on the yard. But there was a talent show that was coming up at the school. And so she, talked to my grandmother, I guess, about getting me in the talent show. And my grandmother, I'm not sure if she was hesitant to let me be in it or whatnot, but the teacher ended up signing me up for the talent show anyway. So I remember when I had, when I had got out of school, my grandmother, she came to pick me up. I don't know if my mom was beat up at that time or if my mom was at work, but I remember my grandmother coming to pick me up, and she took me home and she got me dressed. Yeah, I believe my mom was at work, and she took me home and got me dressed, put on this big red dress. It was red and white dress that she had got from Bullock's, and she had put my little shoes and stuff like that on, and got me ready to go back to school. My father took me to the talent show, and when we got into the auditorium, it was like an auditorium cafeteria type thing, and they had chairs set out, and there was different kids going up on stage, and they were doing their dancing and singing and doing magic tricks and stuff like that, and it was a cool little thing. It was a cool event. And me being a little kid, I was like I believe I was like 5, 6 years old, and I started swinging my legs back and forth. And when I was swinging my legs back and forth, I guess it had bothered my father. My father was sitting on the left side of me, and he looked over at me. And when parents give you those looks, you stop whatever it is that you're doing. But I didn't think I was doing anything, so I kept swinging my legs. And he took his hand and he put it on my lap, and then he looked at me. He said, "You better not say anything." And when he said this, he said, "You better not cry." And when he said this, that's a lot of pizza. And, okay. He ended up putting his hand under my dress on my left thigh, and he started to pinch the skin off of my leg. And me being a little girl, I just, tried to hold in the tears. And he did it again. And then he picked me up, like a father should, and he took me outside to the it was a little like walk area on the side of the cafeteria / auditorium, and he told me, "You better not cry, you better not say a word." And I held all that in, and I actually didn't tell my mom about it until I was an adult. And I remember the time when her and I had came back together and started trying to build a relationship and things like that. I had told her, I think I was probably maybe around 21, 22, something like that. And I said, "Mom," I said, when I was a little girl, Dad used to pinch the skin off my legs." And she looked at me and she started crying. And she was like, "Wow, Kin-Tae," she said, "because when him and I used to lay in the bed together, he would pinch the skin off of her stomach." She said he would pinch the skin off my stomach. And and she just started crying, and she was like, "I didn't know that you were going through that." But what I want to encourage people to do is, if something ever hurts you or someone ever hurts you, go and tell somebody. I don't care if you tell them, don't tell anybody else, but just tell somebody, because you don't ever want to hold all that anger inside. You don't want to bind yourself up with all that hurt emotionally. And I just want to encourage you to go and tell somebody, tell anybody, if you have to go and talk to your neighbor, something. Tell somebody what's going on in your house. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you could be a little kid, you can be, you know, an adult. But more than likely, somebody in your family has had the same experience with, you know, abuse or molestation or whatever with the same individual. And it was kind of mind-boggling. You know, we both cried, but I'm just telling this because it's part of my healing process. All right, you guys, I know this is a pretty long video for me, but anyways, I'm going to share a little more. I didn't go, you know, too much into detail because I still want you guys to get the book. You guys have a blessed one. Stay blessed. And remember that you're here because God wants you to be here. And everybody's unique. Everybody has a story. Never judge a book by its cover. But I guess that's all I want to say. So be encouraged and have a great day, rest of your day or in your house on purpose. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Kin-Tae and I'm out.